Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 4 of the Entertainment Bros podcast, where we talk movies, memories, music, and more. My name is Quentin Foster, and with me is my co-host, Zach Rollins. Zach, hit me with something from your week.
Okay. I feel like I should just have an update for all the Subway things that happen because something happens super ridiculous every single week.
Yeah.
So, oh my goodness, this was probably worse than the whole spinach thing. So at Subway you can get double meats on things. So like if you want ham, you can get like 16 pieces of ham instead of 8 pieces of ham, right? For a foot long. Well, someone thought it was a funny idea to get double meatball.
Okay.
And I wasn't making the sandwich cuz like if I was making if I like making the meat part, if I was making the meat part, I'd be like, "Bro, you can't do that, you know? Like you get maybe like 2 more meatballs, but there's like a set like amount of meat you can fit on a sandwich." I was on the veggies. So when they pushed it down to me, I'm like it's literally like a lake of meat sauce
That's
and
gross.
meatballs in this thing. I'm like, what? And I was like, what can I get started for you on here? Like, are you gonna eat this with a spoon? You know?
That's disgusting.
Because it was so gross. And he's like, yeah, can I just get a lot of Parmesan cheese on that? I'm like, yeah, okay. So I just dumped Parmesan cheese on that. I'm like, oh my goodness, how am I gonna roll this? You know?
Yeah.
So I'm like situating my body like I'm about to jump or something, you know? And I just like twist it as fast as I can, you know? So like the centrifugal force keeps all the sauce in the sandwich.
Oh, yeah.
And I roll it up. And I'm like, I don't know how he's going to open this, but at least it's not my problem anymore. Man, that was the worst sandwich. I was like, he's got to know that was like a terrible decision, but yeah, that happened, and
I have a question
and that was Subway.
about Subway sandwiches.
Yeah.
Can you get triple meat?
You theoretically you could,
And then you just pay like the,
but it would just
the double
cost-
meat add-on twice?
yeah. Which I guess if you want to pay for like a $20 sandwich in Bellingham,
Subway's,
you could do that.
Subway's such a ripoff, bro.
Oh, I don't know how people buy that type of stuff, but I did try their Subway sauce or like their Subway vinaigrette.
Yeah.
Man, that's good. And then next week I'll try their sweet onion sauce because I was like, oh wow, this is actually really good. Okay, so I feel like there's something else. Oh, okay. Well, you tell me something real quick, and then I'll tell you another story.
Well, I just
That's not Subway related.
I took a test on Friday in my mechanics class, and that was the hardest test of my entire life.
Okay.
And when there was like 5 minutes left, the professor asked the class, he's like, "Does anybody need more time?" And the whole class said yes. And he said, "How much time do you guys need?" And then some dude in the back jokingly was like, 50 minutes. And the professor was like, "Okay." And the whole
What?
yeah, exactly. And the whole class had your reaction. We're like, "Wait, what? You serious? Like, you're gonna give us another class period on this?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'll collect your tests now and then give them back to you Monday, and you can finish them during that 50-minute class."
Dang.
So, I mean, there's a special place in heaven for teachers that understand when your students need more time on an exam. And that professor, I want to shout him out. And he's just that was the only time that's ever happened to me in a class. And usually when they say that, they're like, you know, "How much time do you need?" And he's like, "All right, you have an extra 5 minutes," or something stupid like that, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I get to put my numbers in the calculator again because I still don't know how to do it. Thanks. And then this professor gives us a whole weekend to go and figure everything out.
Have you used that weekend to your advantage?
Not yet. No, that's not true.
Oh my goodness.
I've been studying. As soon as the test was over, I went straight to the library and tried to like write down every problem that I could remember. And I've been like looking up similar problems and how to do them. And I really hope the rest of his exams are like that, because his final in this class is worth like 50% of our grade, and we're not going to be able to get
Dang.
an extra 50 minutes on a final, you know?
Yeah.
So, we'll see.
Yeah. That sounds pretty crazy right there.
Yeah, but I mean, it was really, really cool of him to give us extra time to, because you know how normally there's like that one kid who actually finishes and like turns it in early and leaves?
Yeah.
Not a single person finished this test early. Not a single person was done when there was like at the 5-minute left mark. So I think he kind of saw that.
Yeah.
And I don't think he meant to make it this hard, or he thought we were smarter than we were. And he like,
he's
felt
like, man,
bad.
I could finish this.
Yeah, exace. I hate when teachers do that.
I can finish this in the 50 minutes.
Dude, I hate when teachers say that. When teachers are like this test, I took it. It took me like 15 minutes. I'm like, well, you've been teaching this for 30 years.
Yeah.
I've been in it for a month.
Yeah.
So annoying.
Definitely.
All right, what else do you have?
So for one of my classes, one of my it's not even a test, it's just one of my presentations that I have to do. It's called a pitch and pivot. So basically what the whole class does, they're in groups and they have to pitch a business idea to the entire class, like an innovative business idea. And then people will ask you questions to try to get you to think about how you're going to change your business to make it like
better.
Everybody wants it. So it's pretty much Shark Tank. And it's the coolest thing, cuz like while my specific product isn't like the most cool thing in the world.
What was it?
It was cool. It was like a safety device, stabbing instrument thing.
Okay.
That I'm trying to compare it to something without showing you a picture of it. It's pretty much like holding keys in your hand, but with a more blunt object for stabbing, basically. And it has like an alarm system and all that type of stuff. But there were so many good ideas out there. I was like, dang, how many of these people are actually going to use these ideas once we get out of this class? Because one of them that I was like, I could definitely see in 10 years this would be a thing.
Yeah.
They had an app where if you like walked around like a downtown area and there's like historical areas, you could just open the app and have like virtual tour guides just playing
like facts
when you
about
pass
the place.
it and stuff like that. Yeah.
That's super cool.
And anybody could generate content about some place. So if you want like a more historical like tour, you could listen to that. Or if you just want like a tour around town from a local person, then you could get that too. I was like, wow, this is a crazy interface. And the way they pitched it, I was like, damn, I could literally see this being a product. I'm gonna just take your idea, guys.
You're gonna steal his idea.
Because it was so cool. It was a really cool idea.
That is.
And there was a couple other ones, that I was like, man, with a couple tweaks, it could be really cool.
Yeah.
And then I was like, man, my creativity for my product kind of sucks now. But I was also stressing that I didn't even have a product at the very beginning of the quarter, so, you know.
Yeah. Speaking
that's about
of apps and ideas, I had this idea for an app that, like, I don't know how it would work to like get the content there first, but it's a test sharing site between students. So what you do is you type in your school name, and you can pull up your school, and then you can pull up your class, and then people will post past tests of that class for you to study and like look off of, and then you can to get people to like post their tests once they're done. Like that's your payment for using the app, is posting your test too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, okay. I mean, they got Course Hero, they got Chegg.
Yeah, but
they
like
got Quizlet.
all that stuff is like pay, and Quizlet's like none of it's like specific to your school. Like if I could type in, like Montana Tech, and then I could type in, like Engineering 305 Dynamics, and then I could pull up, and maybe pull up, teach by this teacher. I could pull up literally his past tests in that class, and that would be so much more useful. I wanna talk about what grinds my gears, Zach. for those of you that don't know, my girlfriend is Kelly Robbins, and this comes from her. It grinded her gears, but just hearing about it grinded my gears. And it's bad timing. I hate when there's just bad timing. And what happened to her was she was doing a homework assignment, She's in college too, for anyone that doesn't know. And she didn't know how to do a homework problem, so she emailed her professor to, ask for help. And after, so much time, he didn't respond, so she was like, screw it, I'm just going to request the answer, and then when you request the answer, you don't get any points, but you get the answer and you can learn how to do the problem. And as soon as she hit request answer, she got an email back from him.
Dang.
I know. And I was like, just hearing that, made me so mad because of bad timing.
Okay. So, I guess mine really grinds my gears for no reason at all, because I shouldn't even care.
Those are the best ones.
But it seems so random to me. Yeah. Okay, so this is actually a week ago, but I was talking about it with my sister, and just bringing it up again grinded my gears more.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you were paying attention to when Ariana Grande dropped her new album and all the backlash she got from it, from I think it was one song specifically. I don't know. She was talking about her hair or something like that. She bought it.
No.
Right. and okay, so when it first came out, there was this thing where everybody on Twitter, I don't even have a Twitter, but the news was reporting on it, so I was looking at it, and they were saying, "Oh, she's trying to sound black," in her singing,
Yeah.
And but the thing was, they were quoting that she was using African American language or something like that. It was an actual. It made it sound like it was a real linguistic thing,
Yeah.
I couldn't find it again, but they were saying it was AFA, the AFA language or something like that,
Okay.
And I was like, okay. I was like, so you're criticizing an artist for singing with black, I was looking it up, and they're like, oh, was singing with a black accent,
A
black accent, right?
Yeah.
No, that's what they were saying,
Okay.
on top of the whatever language
Yep.
that she was, using, because cultural appropriation.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're criticizing her for doing that because she's using their culture, right?
Mm-hmm.
Their language. But then if you say, if any person says, oh, you talk like a black person, that is racist, right?
Okay.
But then you can't say anything, or else it's oh, you're using our culture. That's a double standard, and that, I don't know why that grinds my gears, but it does, because I don't even care about Ariana Grande. But she's a singer. Can't you make anything without I mean, how can you make something without using a little bit of anything,
Yeah.
I don't know why people are so enraged about it, but then again, I'm enraged about that. They're enraged, so I don't know, that grinds my gears.
Yeah, I don't know. It's I try to live by one saying, Zach, and that's just, who cares?
I know.
Who, I mean, I've, of all the things, I've had so many things that grind my gears, so I can't really say that I actually live by this. But people get so mad over, I get mad over stupid things like mint ice cream that's white.
Yeah.
Not just, who cares? I don't care what other people do. Do what you want. Live your life, man.
Yeah.
And then these
Definitely.
people, because all it's doing is by getting mad at Ariana Grande for doing that, you're just hurting yourself. She's not gonna take the song down. It's not gonna do anything. It's not gonna affect her at all. You know how much money she makes?
Yeah.
She doesn't care about your opinion. Yet people still just rage about stuff, and it's funny to me. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I get why you're raging.
It makes no sense. But I just looked it up again, And so yeah, they were claiming she was using AAVE, which is African American Vernacular English. It says
What?
it's a variety.
That's a thing?
It's a variety. Yes, variety formerly known as Black English Vernacular or Vernacular Black English. And so this is like an actual linguistic thing,
Yeah.
like language, or Ebonics. That's also a name for it. But it's like, bro, you can't.
But if I
I don't
said
get
that
that.
to somebody, that'd be way worse.
Yeah.
So
So, like if you say, oh yeah, you sound like a black person, then but you're like, oh, you sound like you're using Ebonics. Does that make it better? I don't know.
yeah, because no one would know what it means.
Yeah. So
Someone said that to me, I'd be like, "What?"
yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
man.
So that's my grind.
Yeah, that's funny.
Grind on my gears.
It's just, I don't know. Move on. What's your song of the week?
Yep. So talking about black people,
was-
Young Brats.
that was a
by
horrible transition.
XXX. All right, I'll start that over again.
No, definitely keep it. Leave it in.
All right.
Oh man.
So, Young Brats by XXX Tentacion is lost him. All right.
And technical
Hold up.
difficulties. Zach's phone is a piece of
2
shit.
seconds.
So
Keep
leave
him
alone.
recording. I'll call him back.
And we're back.
Okay.
You
Cool. Yep. I'm here.
Can you hear me, good sir?
I can hear you. Okay.
Oh, and he's
Hold
gone
up.
again.
1 second.
Oh.
We've lost connection again.
Can you hear me now?
All right. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right. 1 second. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Cool. Okay.
All right, and I kept
All
it
right,
running.
so
So continue.
That is good. Okay. So basically the song it's just a pump up song. Like I don't know why. I've been listening to X all week and it's a lot of just, like there's a lot of basic rap out there
Yeah.
where you got Lil Pump, Lil Uzi, like all these Lils,
All these little.
And-
They're so
and-
bad. First off, I hate mumble
Yeah.
rappers, dude. Mumble rap is so bad.
Yeah.
Like, good rap
It
is
is.
actually good. Like older rap,
Yeah.
that's good. But mumble rappers, it's kind of annoying, honestly.
Yeah. Well, okay, so a lot of these new rappers, it's always about sex, drugs, money,
And rock
stuff
and
like
roll.
that. Yeah. Okay. But then like X kind of has that same wheelhouse,
Mm-hmm.
but he makes it just sound way more fun, like if you're going to make like a generic rap song,
Yeah.
at least put like a super deep bass line to it. So
Mhm.
then you just have to be pumped,
Yeah.
And so Young Brats is one of those where like he does this really angry rap style that I really like.
Okay.
Because if you're mad, you're just like, yeah, pump up,
Yeah.
And
Are you
it's
mad a
just,
lot, Zach?
It's just. I'm not, but like I channel my thoughts into that, I'm
Okay.
like I can feel him.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's my song of the week.
That's good. What was the actual song though?
Young Brats.
All right. My song is Radioactive.
Radioactive. That one.
Yeah. I love how almost every
Cool.
time I tell you my song of the week, you sing a little bit of it.
Yeah, got to get the audience to make sure they know what they're talking
No,
about.
it's great. But I don't think I had listened to this song for like years before this. And I was just doing homework
Yeah.
with music playing. There's autoplay on YouTube, and this song came on, and it was good. And it's been stuck in my head for a few days, and it's a good song. So
Yeah.
I'm not really complaining.
Definitely, it's been a while since I've listened to it, and oh man, I can't remember what the song was, but I heard one that I hadn't heard for a while, and it was like 2009 when it came out.
Yeah.
I think it was like some Pink song, and I was like, whoa, what Throwback.
Yeah.
Man, that was crazy right there.
Yeah, I don't know.
But
First off, 2009, what a great year for music. I saw a thing on, I don't know where it was, but it was like a bunch of songs from 2009, and they were they were awesome songs. But anyway, what I was gonna say is, like, Radioactive just made me like think of high school, you know, because it came out like probably like 7 years ago, 6 years ago. It's like what would that be, freshman year for us? Yeah,
I feel like
like 8th grade. It just reminded me of like kind of like 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th grade, kind of that era of high school, and just hit me with nostalgia.
I know. I feel like there's a lot of songs for me that, like, once I listen to it, I think of a specific time period.
Oh, 100%.
And it's like a lot of them have some sort of memory attached to them. I'm like,
no,
especially
I
sad
get
ones.
that.
I'm like, damn.
I know.
I remember looking out a window listening to the song
in the middle of
9
math
years ago.
class.
Yeah. Oh, man. Quality moments right there.
All right, are you ready to move on to guess that character?
I am.
All right.
I have not studied any of the characters, so I am ready for something.
All right, for everyone that doesn't know, I will give Zach a superhero name, and he has to give me their alias. So, for example, I would say Bruce Wayne, and you would say
Batman.
Exactly. So, if you listened last week, you know that Zach failed miserably and didn't get any of them, even the easy one. So this week, I made the easy one so easy that anybody should be able to get it. Okay, you ready?
Okay.
All right.
I feel like if you say so easy and then I don't get well then...
I could not think of an easier one. All right, are you ready?
Peter Parker. Yeah, okay.
Clark Kent.
Superman.
Okay, thank God.
Okay.
I was honestly a little bit worried.
That one I could get, that one I was like, all right, I got it.
All right. Also, all of these are DC characters, because last week I did all Marvel. This week I'll do all DC. Next week I'll go all Marvel again, and then go back and forth. So that at least narrows it down a little bit for you. All right, this is the medium tier one, Dick Grayson.
Nick Grayson.
No, Dick Grayson.
Is that
like Richard?
Oh, Dick Grayson.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Actually, I do know this.
Oh.
Well, I'm gonna say it's Robin.
Yeah.
But didn't he become?
Oh, if you
okay,
know
who's.
All right, you got it
does
right.
He become Nightwing?
Yeah, you did know it. Nice.
Okay. That's only because I've played the Batman games.
No, that's...
I was like, okay.
That's fine then. All right, can you tell me then who Jason Todd becomes?
The Red Hood guy.
Yeah. All right, here's a challenge. Who does Tim Drake become?
I'm just gonna say Robin.
That was close. All of these people that I'm saying were a Robin at one point, but he became Red Robin.
Oh.
And then finally, I will give you who is Damian Wayne. Who did he become?
You said what?
Damian Wayne. Who did he become?
Oh. I'm just gonna throw this out because I'm assuming Damian Wayne is Bruce Wayne's son, and so I'm gonna say, the next Batman.
Well, I'll give you a half point because eventually he does, like in some alternate universes and stuff. But he just right now in like the current mainstream, he's just Robin.
Oh,
he's actually Robin, whereas the other ones are Nightwing and stuff. Little Bat family trivia for y'all there. All right, are you ready for your tier 3? You're not gonna get.
Yep.
Are you sure about that? All right.
I'm ready.
Okay.
Because I'm on a kill streak right now.
You are. You're doing good. You got
all of them.
I didn't. I thought you might get Dick Grayson, as Robin, but I did not think you were gonna get Nightwing, which is good. That's good. All right. Michael John Carter.
Michael John Carter.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. I don't even think I've ever heard of that name before.
I'll even give you this. I had to look this up to make sure that I was right.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
Is he a good guy or a bad guy?
Good.
Okay.
And my hesitation might have gave you a slight hint there. There's a current run of DC going right now, which probably doesn't give you a hint at all because you don't read comics, where it's like he's kind of just a medium guy.
The Punisher. Just kidding. That's
Marvel. Remember, Zach,
what was his name again?
You're not gonna get this. Michael John Carter.
Michael John Carter. Deathstroke.
No, that is
okay.
That is not Deathstroke. Do you give up?
Okay.
Deathstroke's a good guess though. I'm surprised you even know who Deathstroke is.
He's also from the Batman game, so
okay.
I didn't know his name was.
This guy has nothing to do with Batman, so.
Okay. Well then, yeah. Now I have no guess.
It is Booster Gold.
I've never even heard of that.
Yeah, he's like kind of a hero. He's from the future and stuff. Also, if you're wondering Deathstroke's real name to increase your knowledge, it's Slade Wilson.
Yeah, okay. If you had said Slade Wilson, I would have been like, yeah, Deathstroke.
Remember,
that name actually rang a bell.
Remember, if you don't know, because do you know Deadpool's name? Because I know you've seen those movies.
If you said it, I'd be like, okay. Yeah.
Well, Deadpool was a ripoff of Deathstroke, and Deadpool's name is Wade Wilson.
Yeah.
So it's a ripoff of Slade Wilson.
Oh.
Get you. You see this? This is why we're doing this. Getting your knowledge up.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Are you ready to move on to entertainment?
Yes, I am.
All right. How many things do you have?
I have 2 things.
All right. Well, I have 2 things, but one of them encompasses 5 things. So let's do that one.
Okay.
Let's do that one last. So,
okay.
How about you go? You go first.
Okay. So last night, I for some reason thought it would be a good idea to start at 9:00.
Okay.
And I watched The Watchmen.
Oh. Was that your first time?
That was the first time.
Did you lose your Watchmen virginity?
Yeah. And I mean, I saw that I got the director's cut, but I didn't think about what that entailed.
How long it is.
And so it was a 30 it was 30 minutes more, which meant the whole entire movie, like not even including the credits, it was 3 hours long.
Yeah, because I was about to say the normal movie is like 2.5 hours, so the director's cut is probably way worse.
It was so long. Like I enjoyed it for the most part. But man, I was so tired by the end of the movie.
Oh yeah.
I was like, I don't know what to feel right now. Like I didn't even give it a rating in my head of just what I thought initially. Yeah, I was like, I just have to go.
Yeah,
because I still had to walk all the way back to my apartment.
Oh yeah, because you watch all your movies in the theaters or in your classrooms, like auditorium.
For the most part, I really enjoyed it. But there's so many things where it's like it was really good for like action and stuff in some spots, but then there was
the
like
cinematics of that movie are incredible.
Yeah, it was in like 2009, and so like the Mr. Manhattan or Dr. Manhattan, like he looked really good, and I was like okay, and this is an older movie, you know, so I was pretty happy with that. But then like some of the sound effects for like fighting sounded so cheesy. Yeah, I was like, oh man, it could be so cool if they had changed the sounds just a little bit, you know, or like some of the fighting was, I mean, a lot of the fighting was amazing. Yeah. But then there was like little bits that were like sped up, so then like the superhero was like moving faster, but it looked cheesy, you know. I was like, man.
Are you talking about like whenever Ozymandias fought?
You said what?
Whenever Ozymandias fought, because he's like the guy, you get the bad guy, the guy who could like catch bullets and stuff. Yeah. But he's like supposed to look like that though.
Well, yeah, no, not even him though, but like the woman, what's her name?
Silk Spectre.
her daughter Jupiter, I think.
Oh.
She moved a couple times where it was like, it was like subtle things, but there's a lot of things where I was like, oh, this is really good, and then it was like kind of good, you know?
Yeah, I get
because there was like little teeny moments that just kind of took away from that. And like I can handle bloody stuff, but man, they cut the guy's arms off because he was tied to like the prison bars. I was like, oh man,
yeah, dude.
Okay.
Anything with Rorschach in that is intense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You want to hear something kind of funny?
Yeah.
I was actually gonna, for your Guess That Hero, I was actually gonna give you a Watchmen character because I knew you hadn't seen the movie, and then you would have watched it, and I wonder if you would have got it right.
I probably would have not, because I don't know any of the characters' names.
Right, well,
I was paying attention.
Let's have a test. Who is Walter Kovacs?
Okay. Walter Kovacs. Oh, that's Rorschach.
Yeah,
right there.
see, you would have got it.
I do remember that, because I do remember that, because he got demasked.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, Walter Kovacs, you know?
Yeah.
But other than that,
you know what the best scene in that movie is?
What?
Actually, there's a lot of like good just single scenes in that movie, but my favorite is when Rorschach is in the prison and he like breaks the glass and like throws the oil on the guy, and he's like, "You're not stuck in," or like, "I'm not stuck in here with you. You're stuck in here with me," and like the guards take him.
Yeah,
I'm like,
man,
damn.
his acting was surprisingly good. Like him being not interrogated, but just like questioned by the psychiatrist. You can see like the subtle facial movements, like he's underlying angry and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and it's so good. Like everybody else was, you know, like decent, you know, but his was like when he's telling the story about like how he's trying to find the lost girl. You know, I was like, dang,
it's so sad. Honestly,
I can see Rorschach. You know, man, that was crazy to me.
Yeah. Yeah, his acting in that is really good. Even at the end, because normally I hate when actors just like scream, you know.
Yeah.
Because like you can yell something, but like a lot of times I feel like actors just like scream their line. I'm like, that's not what you're supposed to be doing. But like,
yeah,
with him, like he did it so well, and especially at the end when Dr. Manhattan kills him, when he's like when he yells, "Do it." Like that is so good. And then like even the Night Owl's reaction where he like throws his helmet off and is like, no, that scene is so good.
Yeah, it's done so well, and it's like, it's not, I wouldn't say it's satisfying, but it felt really real, you know.
Yeah.
In a satisfying way. And the one question I had with the movie was like, how did they find out that the bad guy was the bad guy? Like, they went to the office, he opened a file. I guess I didn't read fast enough the screen. But they're like, uh-oh.
How did Rorschach and Night Owl find out that Ozymandias was the bad guy?
Yeah.
I don't think they found out that he was the bad guy. I think they found out that he killed the comedian. Since they knew, and then like, cause you know Rorschach is like a great detective, and they're both superheroes. They like, you know, put it together that, like he was responsible for this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cause part of the film, I was trying to pay attention, and usually I'll put the closed captions on so I can, or the subtitles on so I can like pay attention, because the room that I'm in, it's like, if you turn up the volume too much,
yeah,
it's like the voices become too bassy and you can't really make out what they're saying half the time.
Oh yeah.
And like Rorschach, he's like super deep voice, you know?
Yeah.
And then, but the DVD player wasn't working, so I was playing it in a computer, so I couldn't do the subtitles. So I'm like trying to pay attention, and a lot of the, like, not, I wouldn't say a lot, but like, I feel like a couple key moments, I'm like,
hear it.
I don't know what they said, so I'm just going to watch, and hopefully I'll figure it out, you know?
Yeah.
But,
so
also,
go ahead.
Quick question.
Yeah.
The whole beginning, like, intro, like the credits sequence.
Yeah.
Who was killing off the old superheroes? Because I literally got out of the movie, I was like, wait, who killed all those people?
Who was killing?
This is a whole nother generation.
I don't think anybody killed them off. I think they either just kind of died or retired, like the old night owl that you saw when he was like talking to the new one. Yeah, like he didn't die; he just retired, and like the comedian was still alive, and like Silk Spectre retired because she got pregnant, and I don't think, and I mean, I think some of them died, but I think they just died fighting.
No, like if you look, I don't know if just like after this, rewatch the intro.
Okay.
Because, like, they're like it starts the credits, like the opening credits, and like there's like a guy who looks like Captain America dead, like shot in the head, and then there's these two, female superheroes that are dead in bed, and it's like a murder scene, And there's a couple other things where people are dead. I'm like, oh, this is a crazy movie, Yeah. And I was. And I was like, oh, okay. And then it was, and it, like, the credits pretty much just said, oh, it's the next generation of superheroes. But then I was like, okay, the whole movie's going to be about, like, trying to figure out who killed these older people. Nope. And then it wasn't. And then I forgot about it until the very end of the movie.
Yeah, that's like, that's what I'm saying. I don't think it's, like, about, I think it was just showing that there is a new era and, like, all these old ones are dead or retired or... not working anymore. I don't think the same person killed all of them. I think it was just like they died while like fighting crime.
Maybe. I don't know. But, I'm going to have to look into it.
Like you said, they didn't reference it ever again, so why, that's just what I took from it. I mean, I also haven't seen the movie in a while, so.
Yeah. I remember though, like, when I was 9 or something like that, I was at my uncle's house, and my cousin, who's like 5-6 years older than me, he's like, "Oh yeah, can we watch The Watchmen?" And they started, and I remember seeing the opening scene. Yeah, I remember seeing the opening scene. I was so shocked of what I was seeing because it was like 2 naked ladies dead in a bed. What? Crazy,
Yeah.
And then I watched it today intense. Or like yesterday. And I was like, I can't believe they almost let me watch that,
Yeah. How old were you?
I was like, that is like 9 or 10 or something like that,
intense. That movie's rated R, but I feel like it's almost NC-17. Because, like, it talks about, there's, like, major themes of rape and stuff, too, so.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah, that movie's dark.
Like, if you guys haven't seen it, I don't know.
I don't know. You kind of
it's something.
Don't watch it unless you just want to like be sad, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. Also, another thing. One of the most powerful moments in the movie that doesn't get explained again is also in the opening credits.
Okay.
There's like all these.
I think you're looking too far into these opening credits, man.
I know, but it was like, oh, that was crazy because even. I don't know. We spent way too long already on this topic.
Well, I mean,
but you see, like, the soldiers,
to talk about, so.
they're aiming their guns at like these pacifist people, and someone sticks like a flower into one of the guns, and then all the guns shoot, and you're like, what?
Yeah,
is this America or is this I don't know.
You're thinking too far into it, dude. It's showing that like the time this is because it showed you with the president and. Like who the president was at the time and everything. This was during like the Cold War where there was like riots and stuff and protests about peace, but the police didn't really care, so they just like shot protesters. So I think it's kind of showing you the time period.
Okay, maybe.
You're thinking too far. It's just the opening credits, man. It's just, we're moving on. You're thinking too much.
They were so interesting and dark. It was so interesting and dark that I was like, there must be something deeper,
Yeah. All right. Well,
okay.
I watched The Umbrella Academy Season 1 on Netflix.
Bro, you watch a lot of Season 1s, I swear.
Well, I just...
In a whole week, too.
Okay, you know what? I binge-watched these really hard, and I watched them, like, the last 3 days, too. There's only 10 episodes, okay, in this one, so don't come at me like that. Okay? But, I'll give you just a background real quick. It's about these kids all their mothers mysteriously around the world, there was a bunch of women who gave birth when in the morning they weren't pregnant. So they just like became pregnant instantly and gave birth. And this really like rich billionaire like bought 7 of them, and they all have superpowers. And he like trained them to get together, but the dude was a real bad guy, and like the father was kind of just an a-hole, and they ended up going their separate ways, and they grew up, and then it goes into a story about, and then they come together and they're trying to stop the apocalypse, and it's not bad, honestly. It's I didn't realize it until I was watching the credits on one of the last episodes. It's actually a Dark Horse comic.
Yeah.
Which is, I'm going to say this, and I feel like I'm going to be wrong. I'm going to be so sad. But I'm pretty sure Dark Horse Comics is the comics who produce Spawn. That's probably wrong.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure Dark Horse...
I know they used to do Star Wars.
Yeah. Well, they do a lot. They have, like, shows. Like, I'm pretty sure they did Stranger Things, too. But I could be totally wrong there. But they do, like, that type of stuff. Kind of like weird like series that like they weirdly translate to TV shows pretty well, but it was pretty good, and the characters were good, and what I liked a lot about it is it wasn't just the generic this guy has ice powers, this guy has fire, like but I'll give you a quick rundown of their powers. One guy is super strong, which, again, like I said, they weren't generic, but he also, he got hit with, like a tranquilizer to save his, not a tranquilizer, like a medicine to save his life, and it kind of turned him, half gorilla. So he's not just super strong. And then there's a guy who can, throw knives, around corners, and he's, really good fighter. Another girl can, if she says, I heard a rumor to somebody, and then she, activates her powers, and she can, make them do anything, One guy can jump through space and time. He's a pretty main character, and that's kind of how they know the apocalypse is coming, because he jumped forward in time, and he, saw the apocalypse, and he came back, and he's like, we gotta stop this,
Yeah.
Who else I'm missing? One kid can, talk to the dead, which, that's why I like it. Not, super generic powers, Another one can, he has, tentacles that, come out, and he can, attack people with them like an octopus. But just weird powers which somehow come together to work well, and they're all super dysfunctional, and it works good. It reminded me a lot of Stranger Things, actually, in how it was shot and the cinematics of it, which makes sense if it's the same comic company and probably the same producers. Well, I mean, I guess Netflix is the producers, aren't they?
Yeah.
But yeah, it was good.
Very cool.
I would recommend go out and watching it if you have some time. My only criticism of it is it's kind of slow, and they don't use their powers as much as I would like. But it's kind of the same thing with Stranger Things. 11 rarely uses her powers. But I wish they would have used their powers more. And the kid who can travel through space and time uses his a lot, because whenever he wants to go somewhere, he just jumps through space, which makes sense. And there's never a point where you're like, why aren't you using your powers? It's they just shouldn't use them right there, which makes sense, but it's just still makes me mad, and I want them to use them more.
Yeah.
But it comes together good, and there's some twists, and I kind of saw the twist coming, but you don't. You think it's one thing, but it's not, and you're like, okay, this person definitely has a role, but you're not sure what the role is, and then you're wrong of what you thought the role was. I don't want to spoil it because it's actually pretty good. But yeah, I'd say go give it a watch if you got nothing to do, if you're looking for something to watch.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah. All right. hit me with your other one. Even though you don't have Netflix, again, get a Netflix, Zach.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Yep. I will in the summertime when I actually have time.
Fair enough.
To binge watch stuff. All right. So my second movie was actually on Friday, and this was The Secret Life of Walter Mitty.
I've actually not seen that, surprisingly.
I saw it a while back, like when I was 14 or something like that, 14,
It came
15,
out
something
that
like
long
that.
ago.
And yeah,
It's like
it's an old
it's like
movie.
6 years.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
I'll look it up.
And I remember watching it, and I was like, it was an okay movie, you know, like it wasn't anything amazing. And I watched it again. Um, yeah, it came out in 2013. I just looked it up.
Yeah,
So it
just
came out in 2013. Crazy. Um, and I really enjoyed it after the second viewing. Like the second viewing, I was like, because I generally knew how it went, but then like the ending I still didn't remember, and so like when it paid off, it was like, oh wow, that was worth the rewatch. You
yeah.
know, I feel like the first time you watch it, it's like
Yeah, can I?
the second
I need to.
time.
I need to ask something about this movie because I would watch the trailers for it, and it's kind of weird. Is he actually doing these things, or is like does he have powers, or is it like what is it?
No, so
Because it
okay,
kind
so
of it
basically,
looks weird when you're like watching the trailer. You're like, this doesn't look real, but he's like definitely doing these things, you know?
yeah. So basically, he just daydreams a lot,
Okay.
and so a lot of the things that you see is him daydreaming. But see, like the first time you watch it, you're like, oh, everything's just a daydream, you know, and so it's not as satisfying. But then when you watch it the second time, you realize, I mean, you might understand it the first time you watch it. I didn't because I was like 15 and stupid. But like, but you watch the movie again, right? And you see like he goes from daydreaming all of his awesome adventures to actually living out these awesome adventures. Um, and then at the very end, he gets the reward for doing that. Basically, the whole movie is him trying to find a photo, and he goes on this like wild around the world adventure to find the photo.
Well, don't spoil
Um,
anything because I'll actually probably watch this movie.
yeah.
But you can keep giving me a general thing.
It's kind of weird because I didn't re-rate it because I've already seen the movie before. I would definitely say it's in my I wouldn't say top 10 by any means or top 100, but it is a feel good movie that I don't know like
You know how
I
many
finished the movie, I was like,
is 100 movies and it's not in your top 100?
well, I mean, I've watched a lot of movies.
So have
I mean,
I know.
yeah, I know, but like I feel like maybe it is. I don't know. I'll have to create a top
Oh my
100.
god, that would take
But
forever.
like it's such a good feel good movie. Like the second time, like I had low expectations going into it, and I was like, oh, that was actually much better than I remembered.
Not bad,
You know.
not bad.
And of course, I like Ben Stiller a lot, and so when I saw this, I was like, ah, Ben Stiller, I haven't seen you in a while.
Since 2013 when I watched this the first time.
Since yeah, so
Well,
it was something special.
Well, speaking of top movies, that's what I want to talk about for my final thing. I wanna talk about my top 5 movies of all time.
Okay.
And I sent you a little questionnaire the other day to get you thinking about it. But I have 5, and before I start, I want to say that these are my top 5. Just I don't want to say favorite because Moneyball is not on this list, but that is one of my favorite movies. This is just what I think are the best.
Yeah.
And that's everything coming together. I don't know why Moneyball's not on this list, but for some reason it just doesn't have that little extra, something, I guess.
Yeah.
You know that like that little
I know what you mean. I know what you
just
mean.
that something that I don't even know because every time I think of a word I'm like, no, Moneyball has that. But this is just my top 5, okay? We're going to leave it at that. So, number 1, and this is also in no particular order. But I'm gonna start with one that I know you agree with, Shawshank Redemption.
Yep.
That's a great movie.
It is such a great movie, you know?
And it's a weird movie too because I've only seen it I think twice, maybe once, I don't even know. But while watching it, you're like, yeah, this is a good movie. And then when you get done, you're like, that was a great movie.
Yeah,
but while you're watching it, you're like, this is a movie.
yeah.
Which is weird, right?
They do it so well that like, even though it's like the same actors and for like only 2 hours, you feel so connected with
You
them
do,
because
yeah.
it like it's like over like a 20-year period or something
Yeah,
like that.
maybe that's it.
And
I
you
don't
feel
know.
like you've aged with
You
them
do,
somehow,
yeah.
And it's such a great moment,
Yeah.
At the very end, you're like, oh. But yeah, okay. Continue.
I also have Good Will Hunting on here.
Okay.
Because that movie to me is, I could watch that movie 100 times and it will never get old. It just, it just has that like extra, maybe it's the ending to all these movies. I mean, actually no, I'm looking at some of these I have on this list and these endings are rough. I'll get to those in a second, but the ending to this movie is just, it's so good, Like, just that line, I gotta see about a girl, it's so good. And like, Robin Williams does so good, and so does Matt Damon. And, like, those are two great actors, honestly.
They definitely are.
And that movie that makes you feel good. It really does.
Yeah.
It's a great one.
It's been a while since I watched it, but I remember when I found out that it was written and directed by both Matt Damon and Bruce Wayne guy.
Ben Affleck. Yeah, he's his
Ben
friend.
Affleck,
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, oh, that's even crazier to me, like actors wrote it instead of like professional screenwriters. These were just two guys at the time.
Yeah, and
who wrote
this was before they were famous too.
Yeah.
And I actually have something. Another one on my list is Saving Private Ryan.
Okay.
And that also has Matt Damon in it. And funny enough, like you were saying, these were just written by two guys. When Steven Spielberg was directing Saving Private Ryan, he cast Matt Damon because he wanted an unknown actor with a really American look, which, I mean, kind of sums up Matt Damon. But Good Will Hunting came out, like, I think of like maybe a year, like less than a year before Saving Private Ryan, and he became like an overnight superstar. And like, apparently like Steven Spielberg was just like, well, that was a waste of time. And then it ended up like probably helping the movie too, because then you had, not only did you have Tom Hanks, but you also had Matt Damon, who is now super famous too. So
Dang,
that was funny to me that they came out at like the same time, and he wanted an unknown actor, and then he ended up getting Matt Damon.
Yeah. Oh man, it's been a while since I've seen Saving Private Ryan, and I just remember the beginning of the movie is just so crazy but so good.
Oh yeah, because it's real. It's so real, and it's you kind of can't watch it very often because it's sad. Like, I mean, for everyone that doesn't know, it's World War II, right? Yeah, and it's the opening scene is the beach in Normandy, right? Make sure I get my history right. And it was like, isn't that like the bloodiest, like most fatalities for Americans, like in a single battle in the war, and we still won it, but it was just so many people died.
I mean,
and they just got like massacred, and they don't hold back in that opening scene. Like, people are getting shot. Like the one dude who's like carrying his arm. Yeah, it's intense. That whole movie is intense.
Definitely. Also, another super sad movie, also by Steven Spielberg, Schindler's List. I would
go ahead,
put that in my top 5 maybe.
Yeah,
because that is impactful right there.
I've heard that's a great movie, and that is actually on my list to watch. I'm gonna watch that as soon as possible, but I have not yet, so it's not included in my top 5.
I would recommend watching that on a big screen, even though it's not like cinematic in any way. I feel like it was meant to be watched on a
camps?
Yeah.
Okay.
But like, I mean, there's nothing like visually so out of the world, that like a superhero movie.
Yeah.
but I feel like you have to watch it on a big screen to like fully appreciate it. Like I watched it on a TV, and it was definitely really good there. But like, I feel like it can be so much better. You know.
Well,
like
while we're on the subject of movies that are in your top 5 that I haven't watched, why don't you tell us a little about No Country for Old Men? Because I know you said that was in your top 5, but I have not seen that yet.
Yeah, so I saw this a while back, like last year, and
so long ago.
And it's okay, but like the list that you showed me, it definitely, I was like, yeah, definitely that has to be my top 5, because when you watch it initially, you're like, there's so much depth to the movie, but you don't know what the depth is. You know, you're like, I feel like, because like the bad guy, you're like, why is he bad?
Yeah.
And who hired him?
Maybe
and,
that's
and all these things.
Maybe that's the hidden secret to all these. It's depth that we don't know why it's depthful.
Yeah, because but after watching the movie, I did extreme amount of research to try to figure out all the things to it, and I was like, wow, that's actually really good, you know. And even though it's not really explained, there's just so many different things that when you watch the movie, you're like, wow, that really pays off. There's one ending. All right, there is one ending. The ending is with Tommy Lee Jones, and he's explaining something. It's not even really a spoiler, but I'm not gonna say what he's explaining.
No, that's fine.
He's explaining something. I took it as a different meaning.
You always do that, apparently.
Yeah, I know. I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. And then I looked up the ending, and then he was explaining something else. I was like, oh, that also is pretty cool too, you know. And there's so much. The dialogue is so rich.
Yeah.
The violence isn't really violent, but it's super dark in a way that's just so good. Like I would say it's a Batman Western, you know, like right. Christopher Nolan Western kind of thing. And like the bad guy in this movie is like the Joker kind of. It's like though if you like that, I would say they're in the same category of bad in a way. And it's super good. Like the first 10 minutes from what I remember was kind of confusing because there's like no dialogue at all. But then once like the bad guy's introduced, it's crazy. You're like, oh man. And the directors, they have a weird sense of they have a weird directing style where some things never like fully get satisfied in their movies, and it's definitely this is one of those movies, you know.
Oh yeah.
Where things aren't fully satisfactory, you know, or not satisfactory, but like it's not as satisfying to the audience, but it feels very real in a way. Like once you finish it and you think about it like a week later, and a month later, and a year later, like me right now, you're like, oh damn, yeah, that was actually really good. So that's my thoughts on it. Would recommend it.
Yeah. Well, speaking of movies that aren't very satisfying at the end, I have on my list 7.
Okay.
Have you ever seen that?
I have seen that.
Oh, you have seen it?
I have seen it. Yeah,
it's
you told me to watch it, and then I had already seen the ending before you told me to watch it, and then I watched the movie. I still enjoyed it though. Yeah,
it's that ending though is like it fits perfectly because the bad guy usually doesn't win, but he won.
Yeah.
Weirdly enough, like he died, but he won because he was supposed to.
Yeah.
For a quick rundown for everyone, if you want to avoid spoilers, I would not listen to this part. It's about a serial killer and 2 cops that are trying to take him down, and he's killing he's killing 7 people, and each one represents the 7 deadly sins. And he starts off, and I can't remember, like I think the first one's greed, and he kills a lawyer because lawyers are greedy, whatever. And it goes on, gluttony, sloth, whatever. He kills a fat guy by making him eat himself to death. And it's pretty gruesome. Gets to the end. There's 2 more deaths left. He turns himself in, but he still has 2 deaths to go, and the cops are kind of like, we're missing, like, he wouldn't do this, like, this guy's smart, he's methodical. Gets to the end, he's like, I'll take you to the 2 bodies, He goes out there, and one of the cops it ends up being his wife's head in a box. And that's the 6th kill. And I don't remember which one that represents. Oh, it's lust.
Yeah, neither.
It's lust because the girl is like super pretty and attractive, and the serial killer lusts after her, so he kills her as lust. And if you've ever heard the saying "What's in the box," it's from this movie, and it's Brad Pitt is the cop and Morgan Freeman's the other cop, and Morgan Freeman goes to like check on this package that gets delivered while Brad Pitt's with the serial killer, and he sees that it's his wife's head, and then Brad Pitt's character is like, "What's in the box?" and he like keeps asking, and eventually the serial killer tells him. So then that's 6 deaths down, and then the serial killer's plan is for Brad Pitt to kill him, and that would be the 7th kill, which would be wrath, right?
Yeah.
So because Brad Pitt is wrathful and he wants to take vengeance for killing his wife, so then that would be the 7th kill, wrath. He would complete his serial killer plan, and Brad Pitt ends up killing him, completes it, he wins, even though he's dead. And it's just kind of, you're like, that's a crappy ending. Like, it's a great ending,
yeah,
but it's just not, like, the good guys don't win,
Yeah. Definitely.
And it's dark throughout the movie, but it's in my top 5. That's and it's super suspenseful, and it's a good movie. I would highly recommend it.
I also would recommend it.
Yeah, but don't.
Some people like it. Some people hate it.
Yeah, don't be like Zach and watch the ending first. Even though if you're listening to this, I just told you the ending. But still, don't watch it. How many? I have 1 more in my top 5, and then I have a few honorable mentions. I have Warrior in my top 5, and we're not going to talk about it because I saw that you bought the movie or you rented it or whatever, right? Yep. Yeah. So we will talk about Warrior in its own section when Zach watches that. So we're moving on from Warrior. That's all you get.
Okay.
All right. Well, what are you going to say about Zach? You haven't watched it. Or have you?
Yeah, I have not watched it yet. I literally got it, and then I was like, but I have to watch this other movie, and then I have to watch this other movie. And, of course, the other movie was Saint Elmo's Fire, and that was pretty trash, so I should have just watched the movie instead.
I'm going to be so sad. We're going to, next week, we're going to be talking about Warrior, and you're going to be like, this is the worst movie I've ever seen. If you say that, I want to be so sad. All right, honorable mentions. I have Pulp Fiction. Because it's
interesting.
It's like I said, maybe it's just that depth that you don't know why it has depth, but it's just a good movie, and like I love that.
I was so confused during that entire movie.
100% confused. I was too, and I would say we're both pretty smart guys, right? And I got done, and I was like, "What in the ass just happened?"
Yeah, like I knew going in it was out of order.
Yeah.
But then I was like, I still don't get it. Like
even when it ended, I still didn't get it. I need to watch it again, but I like Googled it like 12 times. And I was like, did they ever explain what was in the case?
No.
Okay, yeah.
It's
interpretation, right?
Just, yeah.
Yeah.
They say it could have been a soul. But yeah, they never say.
Yeah, and then
they said like the main bad guy had like a Band-Aid on the back of his neck.
Yeah.
And in some sort of mythology, like you can take a soul out of the back of the neck, but it never was confirmed, I don't think.
Yeah, and I don't know, maybe that's why it's so good. It's just like it's open to interpretation, which honestly I hate when movies do that, but for some reason this one's good.
Yeah.
And that that whole opening scene is with Samuel L. Jackson and what's his face?
Yeah, I know who
his
you're
partner.
talking about.
God, he's been John Travolta.
Yeah.
Like that opening scene where he's like, say what one more time. That whole scene is just like, it's great. He's like, I will shoot you.
That's quality.
I double dog dare you. With a lot more cursing because it's Samuel L. Jackson. He says mother effer like 12 times in a sentence.
Yeah. And like, oh man, I think the funniest moment was like when they're driving down the road with the other black guy, and they go over like a road bump or something like that, and the guy gets shot in the head.
Oh yeah.
I was like, oh my god.
And then they're like cleaning that up.
Yeah. I was like, that was actually so unexpected at the time. That was some quality content
they're just
right
like cleaning it up, and he's like, I'm done. I'm out. This life is over. And then you're like, why? And then like the very last scene is them at the cafeteria, and he's like, I'm out.
Yeah.
I have one more honorable mention. Do you have any honorable mentions you're thinking about, or any top 5 you want to talk about?
Not any honorable mentions at the moment. I'm thinking.
My last one.
Continue.
My last one is Gladiator.
Okay.
Yeah, have you seen Gladiator?
I have seen Gladiator. I don't know if it would be top 5 for me.
Yeah, I mean,
or an honorable mention for me.
It's just I don't even know if it's top 10, but I felt like it deserved an honorable mention because it's just it's a great movie, and like it's so heroic. Maybe like one of the most heroic characters of all time, possibly. Maybe he says with a question mark.
Well, okay, so like, did you hear that they're making a Gladiator 2?
Yeah, and they shouldn't.
Yeah, I know. I was like, how are you gonna make a Gladiator 2?
Yeah, because I mean,
like,
I haven't watched this in a while, but he died, right? Yeah, he died. He went back. His wife and kid died. He died. So unless it's a different Gladiator, I mean.
Yeah, I don't know how that's gonna work.
Yeah.
Like, it better not be Russell Crowe being like
alive,
70 years old or something like that.
It
coming back.
The only
like as a fat guy.
It can't be like a sequel. Maybe. Oh, here's a thought. Maybe it's a prequel, because you know how, in the Gladiator, in the movie, it's like they have the Gladiator arena, and the king like restarted it because it was shut down. Maybe it's like a prequel of it's like the first arena, like before it got shut down and then restarted.
I mean, they could do that, but like,
why?
I feel like that's not original in any means.
No, I mean, I get it.
Like keep it a solo film, know.
That
just keep.
You know what grinds my gears, Zach?
As it is.
how
what grinds your
how
gears?
Movies nowadays just they make sequels of movies that have already happened. Just make new movies.
Yeah.
Like some movies deserve sequels. Those are movies that are set up for sequels. Okay, here's the other thing that grinds my gears. When they when movies nowadays, because there's so much money in like franchises, every solo movie, people try to set up a freaking franchise or like a freaking sequel, and it's like that grinds my gears. Like movies that shouldn't have a sequel.
Understandable. I totally understand you there.
Because I can't think of one right now.
Hopefully.
But people are just remaking movies. Like, it's okay to have solo movies. I don't want to have to be invested in every freaking series. Just let me go watch a movie and be like, that was good. And it has a beginning, middle, end, and it's done. No sequels,
Yeah.
It's like there should only be a few franchises happening at any one time,
Yeah.
You have Marvel.
See,
Marvel should have franchises. It's comic books. There's 1 million comics. Make 1 million movies. That's fine. Star Wars, getting on the edge there. Star Wars should stop for a little bit.
Yeah, like once like episode 9 comes out, just chill.
No,
for like another 10 years.
No movies for at least 10 years, and then make another 12. Who cares?
Yeah.
But that's why
But
yeah, that's why The Force Awakens did so well, because after the prequels, it had been how many years? I'm gonna say it's wrong. Like 10. Was it like 10 years between Episode
yeah,
3?
because it came out like I swear like 2000 is when it came out.
Mm-hmm.
Like
That was like Episode 1 though.
the second the Episode 1, yeah.
But yeah, and that's why
So
The Force Awakens was like so like successful, and that's why it's like one of the most successful box office, because you have all these old Star Wars fans who want to come back, and you get a new generation in, which is what you do. Every 10 years you start it again, you get a new generation. I'm good with that, but Star Wars needs to chill. Because everyone says like Marvel does 2 movies a year, why can't Star Wars does that? Because Star Wars has 12 characters total, that people care about. Like, you're not going to make a solo movie with a character we've never heard of. It's not going to do good,
definitely.
But Marvel can do that because there's a million Marvel characters that they can make a movie off of, that people have heard of, that comic book readers have heard of. You can't just be like, oh, there's this new Star Wars character, blah, 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 blah. I mean, and I know there's tons of Star Wars comics and there's legends, but Disney is so specific with making everything with what's canon now. Like, they just need to stop.
Yeah.
Like with like the
like,
episodes, it's the same characters, So you need a break.
Yeah. I totally get you there. And so one of the movies last year that I really enjoyed was Blade Runner 2049, because
So
it is a sequel.
Yeah.
But the director, he was like, it's pretty much a standalone film. They're not trying to make it into a franchise or anything like that. And so I was like, okay, it's nice. It's all tied together by like its own film. You could watch it by itself and not have to watch the original,
Which sucks, by the way.
but it is a sequel,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I personally enjoyed the original once I rewatched it. Like I attempted to watch it and I was like, this is so boring.
It's so bad.
Then I rewatched it. No, and then I rewatched it knowing that it wasn't an action film, and I was like, why did I not like it the first time? And then I watched 2049 when it came out. I was like, oh, even better now.
Yeah, maybe I need to rewatch it, but I'm pretty sure I've said this on the podcast before. That movie sucks. I have this list of 100 movies to watch, and I've been going through them, and actually it might be more than 100 movies. I don't know. But the original Blade Runner was on it, and I watched it, and it was garbage. And I don't.
It's really not. Like you just gotta go in knowing what it's about generally. Like you gotta have your expectations that it's a drama instead of an action movie, and because like the ending is just so good.
Yeah, maybe that's it. All right, well that's all all mine. Are you all wrapped up for the week?
That's all mine. Yeah.
All right. If you want to contact the show, email us at therealentertainmentbros@gmail.com, and we will read them out. Thank you, everyone, for listening. If you enjoyed the show, tell your friends and family. Keep on listening.
And cut.